All right, welcome back. And today I'm going to be talking about what to do after you've reached your fat loss goals. So you've been dieting for, I don't know, 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, you've hit your goal, and now you want to understand where to go. I always recommend living in maintenance for at least, for me personally, as long as possible, whether that be, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but you want to let your weight stabilize. So I like to spend, let's say, 3 months at maintenance before either jumping back into a fat loss phase if you have more fat to lose, or jumping into a muscle building phase. Now, one of the main reasons for that is learning to operate and to live at this new weight. And of course, it's going to take practice. So, the first thing I want to do is to define maintenance. Now, I know several people, coaches that I talk with, myself, also clients that I work with, who all of their definition of maintenance, it varies. So what I mean by that is, for some, let's say they have reached a new weight of 160 pounds. Some like to stay in between, let's say, 157 to, I don't know, 163. Others, it's 160 to 170. So as long as they stay in that range, then they are in what they consider maintenance. So one of the first things to do is to decide how you are defining maintenance. Now, what maintenance is not, it isn't reaching 160 pounds and then every day for the rest of existence, you're just 160 pounds. Weight is always going to kind of bounce around 2 to 4 pounds, kind of depending on how strict, I don't want to say how strict you are, but what you have going on in life. So if you're on vacation versus if you're at home for a lengthy period of time, and kind of depending on how much you're eating out and those types of things. So maintenance is a range, and it's not a static number. But the reason I love maintenance so much, and especially after a fat loss phase, is some of the psychological benefits that you receive. You don't have to be so on point. And in my coaching practice, what I do is I like to work in ranges in maintenance. So if you're thinking about, weighing yourself daily while you're in a fat loss phase. Well, maybe you move to, I'm not gonna concern myself so much with the number, and I'm gonna take in averages over 1 to 2 weeks and see kind of what my weight, how it's maintaining over that period of time, whether and not being so hyper focused on the day to day and moving into like more of a bi-weekly type structure. And some of the the actual physical benefits of being in maintenance is you just have more energy. You have more energy, you have more leeway as far as eating out, as far as events are concerned. And you oftentimes can find that because you can push more in the gym, then you can lean out even a little bit more over a period of time as your body's kind of settling in on that weight. Now, part of that is just having more food in your system and you are kind of like filling back out, but you'll still have the appearance of being leaner even though you have more food in your system. Now, the reason all of maintenance is important, it's because you want to learn how to live at that new weight. You want to learn the habits. Now, let me explain this. So what maintenance is not, after I take clients through a fat loss phase and we get to maintenance, usually there's some trepidation. Usually there's like the scale's going back up. Like, I want to jump back into a fat loss phase. And the scale moving up a little bit is perfectly fine, as I kind of alluded to earlier, and that maintenance is a range. But what maintenance is not, it isn't, I ate this way during fat loss and now I'm just going to kind of like change my diet and hope for the best. Because ultimately, if during the fat loss phase, the habits that you are maintaining, if you switch all of those, obviously, and go return to previous habits, then things typically don't go as well as you want. But there is more freedom there with food, and just having a like less stress mentally, because you have more calories to work with, you have more energy, recovery usually improves. Dieting can be stressful mentally and physically, and having more calories to play around with is always a plus in my book. Plus, it's cool to see like how your training is affected, having more energy to push, seeing weights progressively go up, and being able to have just simply more energy to push in the gym is always fun for me. But some of the cool things too is you move beyond weight loss. It doesn't become so much about the scale or about the scale at all. Like, you are really focusing on the habits that are going to give you this sustained success. You're focusing a little bit more on balance. Like, I'm not saying again that your fat loss phase has to look very different. Like, really, the portions of the foods you were already eating in fat loss should just increase. So if it was, let's say breakfast, if it was oatmeal with an egg white omelet, maybe that just looks like in maintenance, you add a couple of whole eggs in, or one whole egg, and your oatmeal increases from 50 grams to 100. Like, it's just small tweaks. It's just having more food available to help nourish you. But it's that balance that for me is it's mentally freeing. And secondly, in that, it's just the flexibility, right? Because sometimes in fat loss phases, you have to order the salad, the grilled chicken at dinner because you're trying to reach this goal. And that's just part of the process. And being able to open up some of the menu and enjoy that with family, enjoy it with friends is always rewarding, because I know food is more than just fuel. It is very social. The reason breaking bread with somebody is so popular and just resonates because it's true. It can be an experience, and depending on your culture, it's more than just eating so we have energy. It's connecting, it's sharing stories. So I love moving out of fat loss phases into maintenance, and just so you don't have to concern yourself so much there. But also, last point I'm going to make in this, again, I've already touched on it, but it's just having a support system in maintenance that, like, hey, yes, I may not be dieting anymore, but that doesn't mean that every quote unquote bad habit I had before the diet, I'm just going to reintroduce. Calories still matter. The great habits you established while hitting your fat loss goal still apply here. And There's a learning curve to it. There's a learning curve to learning to live in maintenance, but it is worth it. And even if you gain a little bit more weight than you want, that's why maintenance is a range. So for me, I know that once I start to hit my like upper range of maintenance, it's just cutting back a little bit, and it's not like having to go into a huge fat loss phase. It's what's termed a mini cut, and you could do those in 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, and it's so much quicker than the first time you've undertaken a very large fat loss phase that lasted 4 to 6 months, maybe even longer depending on how much weight you had to lose. But it's just much more mentally freeing. You can focus on other things in the gym, pushing up weights, getting stronger. You have more energy to give to your day to day. Plus, you get to put in practice all of those great habits you established in fat loss. All of those things, you get to take them out into the world and live them, which further cements them in your brain, in your body, and you just learn how to live without having to like hold on to tracking so much. I find that in maintenance, you can just kind of dip your toes in the water every now and again and just make sure, just kind of see where your calories are landing. But those are a few of the key strategies, a few of the things that I love about being in maintenance, coming out of maintenance. Generally you're going to increase your calories. It kind of varies person to person, but typically, they're going to go up 300 to 500 calories. And you can do that one of two ways. You can kind of gradually build up, see what your weight's doing, raise them 200, see how your weight's reacting then. And then after 2 weeks, raise them another 200, or you can just shoot back up to that, 400 calorie mark all at once. And even if your weight ticks up a little bit, usually normalizes after your body is like, hey, I've got more food in my system. I like this. And it just kind of levels out. And then you can just kind of play with calories from there, depending on kind of your goals. But sitting in maintenance for, let's say, 2 to 6 months after a fat loss phase, I think is a great thing. Just to help you recharge mentally, help you recharge physically, and plus you just have more energy. So just a few tips about getting back to maintenance and what maintenance is all about. So please, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. You can subscribe. Definitely find me on Instagram at Aaron_Lee_Sanchez. If you have any comments, just go ahead and leave those, get those answered. I love hearing this discussion around maintenance, around anything, really, anything fitness or training related. And my name is Aaron Sanchez, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.